The quiet hum of the starship Valiant Runner wrapped around Lieutenant Aaron Hale like a distant lullaby as he finished his routine patrol of the lower deck. It had been an uneventful mission so far, escort duty, nothing more, and Aaron was certain the day would end just as calmly. He was wrong, very wrong. A sharp chime echoed through the hall. "Lieutenant Hale, report to the bridge immediately." The voice of Captain Reyes carried a tone that grabbed every nerve in Aaron's body. The captain rarely sounded urgent, and when she did, something was usually broken, on fire, or trying to kill them. Aaron quickened his steps. Humans were newcomers to the galactic community, barely 5 years since first contact. They were respected for creativity, feared for stubbornness, and quietly laughed at for their chaotic way of solving problems. But even with humanity's rising reputation, the Valiant Runner was a small ship assigned to minor diplomatic duty. Nothing about it ever demanded urgency. Aaron stepped onto the bridge. The air felt tense. Officers stared at the main holo projector, where the symbol of the Zarathi Alliance pulsed in bright blue. The Zarathi were one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the sector, and they did not contact small human ships unless something massive was happening. Captain Reyes turned toward Aaron. Her face was completely calm, too calm. "Lieutenant," she said, "the Zarathi High Council has made a request. For you." Aaron blinked. "Me? Why me? I've never even met a Zarathi." "That," the captain replied, "is exactly the mystery." The holo projector flickered. Shifting into a clearer form, the graceful silhouette of a young alien girl. She looked around 13 by human standards, with luminous silver eyes and faint blue lines that shimmered across her skin like constellations. Her long, dark hair floated softly as if gravity barely touched her. "That is Princess Lysera," Reyes explained, "the youngest diplomatic prodigy in the entire sector." Everyone on the bridge watched the projection in silence. Lysera looked small, quiet, almost fragile, yet something about her posture radiated strength. "She insisted on speaking only to a human," Reyes continued, "specifically to you." Aaron felt the eyes of the entire crew shift toward him. He lifted his hands helplessly. I don't even know her." Reyes nodded. "Maybe not. But she knows you." The projection began to play a recorded message. The alien girl spoke in flawless English, her voice calm, steady, and surprisingly gentle. "To Lieutenant Aaron Hale, I request your presence on Zarathi Prime. The future of my people depends on a decision only you can help me make." Aaron felt a chill run down his spine. Why him? A regular officer? The message continued. "Do not be afraid. I will explain everything when you arrive." Then the projection faded. The bridge fell into silence. After a heavy moment, Reyes finally spoke. "Aaron, you're being summoned by one of the oldest powers in the galaxy. It's not optional. They're sending a diplomatic shuttle as we speak." Aaron exhaled slowly. His peaceful day was officially over. The shuttle arrives hours later. Aaron stood on the hangar deck as a sleek silver shuttle docked with the ship. Its curved wings glowed with soft pulses of light, and its hull looked almost alive, shifting colors in waves. The door opened with a whisper, and a tall Zarathi attendant stepped out, bowing slightly. "Lieutenant Aaron Hale," the attendant said in a musical voice. "Princess Lysera awaits you." Aaron followed him inside. The shuttle interior was filled with floating projections of Zarathi art, swirling shapes and shifting patterns that seemed to respond to Aaron's presence. They made him feel small, but strangely calm. As the shuttle lifted off, Aaron looked out at the stars scattered like dust across space. He wondered what could possibly require him, a single human lieutenant, to be pulled into Zarathi political affairs. The journey to Zarathi Prime took less than an hour thanks to their advanced jump drive. When the ship exited hyperspace, the planet filled the view like a shining pearl wrapped in rings of soft blue light. Zarathi Prime was breathtaking. As they landed, Aaron felt the air shift around him, warmer, denser, and carrying a faint scent like fresh rain and distant flowers. The palace was enormous, carved out of glowing stone that seemed to hold starlight within it. Tall crystal towers stretched upward like spears aimed at the heavens. It was overwhelming, but none of it compared to the moment he saw her in person. The Princess Lysera stood at the center of a massive hall surrounded by advisors and guards, yet she seemed untouched by all of them, calm, composed, like she was from a world of her own. When she saw Aaron, her silver eyes brightened. She walked toward him with quiet steps. "Lieutenant Aaron Hale," she said in a soft, steady voice. "Thank you for coming." Aaron bowed slightly, unsure of the customs. "Princess, I'm honored, but I don't understand why you wanted me." A faint smile curved her lips. "Because," she said, "you are the only one who can help me stop the crisis coming to the sector." Aaron stiffened. "Crisis?" Lysera nodded. "There is a threat rising, one my people have hidden from the galaxy for too long, and because of this mistake, I must now stand before enemies older than our history." She paused, studying Aaron closely. "I am the youngest diplomat ever chosen by my people. Many do not believe I am ready. Many would prefer I fail." Her eyes softened slightly. "But you humans, you see things differently. You challenge limits. You turn impossible situations upside down. I need that." Aaron swallowed. "So you chose me because I'm human?" "No," she answered quietly. "I chose you because I have seen your record. I have watched your missions. You act with compassion even under danger, and that is what my people need now." Aaron felt heat rise to his face. "Princess, whatever I can do to help, I will, but I need to know what this crisis is." Lysera looked around as if checking the shadows for listening ears. Her silver markings glowed brighter. "The council does not want me to speak of it yet," she whispered. "But I will tell you soon. For now, there is something you must understand." She stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a near whisper. "You are not here as a guard. You are not here as an outsider. You are here as my chosen partner in diplomacy, the one person I trust to stand by me when the council challenges my right to lead." Aaron stared at her in shock. "Partner? Princess, I'm not qualified for—" Lysera raised a hand. "You are, and you will see why soon." Before Aaron could respond, a loud tone echoed across the hall. A voice announced, "Princess Lysera, the council is ready for the initial hearing." Lysera straightened, her calm expression returning. She turned to Aaron. "This is only the beginning. Stay close to me, no matter what happens." Aaron nodded slowly, feeling the weight of something far bigger than himself settling on his shoulders. As they walked toward the Grand Council chamber, one thing became very clear. Humanity had been pulled into a galactic storm, and he was standing right at the center of it beside the most unlikely ally in the sector. The doors to the council chamber slid open with a deep, resonant hum that echoed across the polished crystal floor. Aaron Hale stepped inside behind Princess Lysera, trying to keep his nerves hidden. The room was enormous, large enough to fit a small starship. Its domed ceiling shimmered like a night sky, filled with slowly drifting constellations that weren't from any human map. 12 members of the Zarathi High Council sat in a half-circle, each on an elevated platform. Their robes glowed with faint energy. Their eyes followed Lysera and then shifted to Aaron with a mixture of curiosity, skepticism, and something sharper, distrust. Aaron felt like an insect under a magnifying glass. Lysera, however, walked with calm confidence, her silver eyes fixed ahead. A deep voice echoed from the center platform. It belonged to High Chancellor Vorin, an older Zarathi with skin lined by bright blue markings. "Princess Lysera," he said slowly, "you stand before this council to justify your request for independence in handling the sector crisis." Lysera bowed her head respectfully. "I understand, Chancellor." Vorin's gaze sharpened. "And yet, you arrive with a human, a young soldier of a species barely known. Explain this." Murmurs rippled through the council. Aaron stood a step behind Lysera, resisting the urge to fidget. Lysera lifted her chin. "Lieutenant Aaron Hale is my chosen diplomatic partner. He brings an external perspective, free of Zarathi bias. Humans solve problems differently, and I believe—" Before she could finish, another counselor cut in. "Humans are impulsive, reckless. Their species has no place in high diplomacy." Aaron quietly swallowed. Lysera's markings brightened in irritation. But her voice stayed steady. "That recklessness has saved entire crews, and their creativity has solved problems we could not. I will not face the coming threat with those who only wish to silence me." Another counselor leaned forward. "And this human? Does he even understand why he is here?" Aaron felt the question land like a blow, but he stepped forward anyway. "Counselors," he said, keeping his voice controlled, "I know your trust in humanity is low. I know I'm not who you expected, but Princess Lysera entrusted me with her mission, and I intend to support her with everything I have." There was a long pause. Then, unexpectedly, Lysera smiled faintly. Vorin spoke again. "Very well. The princess claims you can contribute. We shall see. Let the hearing begin." The first test. The chamber lights dimmed. A projection flared to life above the council, showing a swirling cloud of darkness at the edge of the sector. Aaron frowned. It looked alive and angry. Lysera's voice echoed through the chamber. "This is the Void Rift. It has been growing for decades. My people hid the truth, hoping it would fade. It has not." The projection zoomed in, showing flashes of lightning inside the storm and pieces of shattered ships drifting around it. A cold shiver brushed Aaron's spine. Vorin spoke gravely. "This is the crisis." Another counselor added, "A force that consumes energy, matter, even light. Every attempt to study it has resulted in loss." Lysera stepped forward. "I have developed a proposal to contain it, but I need authority to act, and an ally who thinks outside our traditions." Her eyes drifted toward Aaron. Many counselors did not look pleased. "Princess," a tall female counselor said sharply, "creativity is not enough to solve a threat older than our recorded history." Lysera answered calmly. "Then let us prove it through trial." She gestured toward a smaller projection that appeared beside them, a simulated model of the sector and the rift. "I request a strategic demonstration, and I wish Lieutenant Hale to represent my approach." A ripple of quiet outrage spread across the council. Vorin hesitated, then slowly nodded. "Very well. Humans claim cleverness. Let us test it." Aaron inhaled sharply. This was not what he expected. The strategy chamber. Minutes later, Aaron stood in a circular room filled with floating holographic grids. The council watched from above like judges observing a contest. Lysera stood beside Aaron, whispering softly, "You do not need perfect strategy. Just show them something new, something they'd never consider." Aaron's mind raced. He had trained in tactics, sure, but he wasn't a top strategist. He wasn't even a commander. But he understood one thing humans excelled at: improvisation. The holographic rift loomed before him, devouring simulated ships and drones. A neutral voice announced, "Begin." Aaron studied the projection. Traditional Zarathi strategy relied on symmetry, predictable formations, clean lines of attack. Humans fought differently. Aaron tapped a sequence on the interface. 3 council members muttered in confusion. Instead of deploying fleets in neat walls, Aaron staggered them unevenly, using random spacing and sudden directional changes. Lysera smiled knowingly. The simulation started. The rift reacted, lashing out with consuming tendrils, but its movements relied on predicting regular patterns. Aaron's chaotic formation confused it. As a Zarathi muttered, "This is disorder." Another whispered, "But it is working." Aaron pressed further. He ordered a small decoy ship to emit false energy signatures, drawing the rift's attention. Meanwhile, the real containment drones slipped in from an unexpected angle and began stabilizing the rift's perimeter. It wasn't a full victory, but the result was clear. The human method made progress where traditional Zarathi strategy had failed. The chamber fell silent. Then Voran's voice echoed, "A curious display, Lieutenant Hale. Imperfect, chaotic, but undeniably effective." Aaron exhaled, tension draining from his shoulders. Lysera placed a steady hand on his arm. "Well done." The confrontation. Returning to the main chamber, Aaron noticed something tense in the air. The counselors spoke in hushed tones. Some looked thoughtful, others looked angry. Voran stood. "Princess Lysera, your claim to manage this crisis is strengthened, but your youth remains a concern." Lysera lifted her chin. "My age does not change the truth. I have the knowledge to lead this mission, and now a partner who brings what I lack." A harsh voice cut through the chamber. Counselor Sarath, the stern figure who had doubted Lysera from the start, stood. "The princess is reckless. She hides information, and she puts her trust in an outsider species we barely understand." Lysera's markings flared. "Sarath, I have hidden nothing." But Sarath's glare sharpened. "Then explain this." He raised his hand. A new projection appeared. Aaron's breath caught. It showed a dark structure, something like a station, floating inside the rift. It pulsed with the same blue light that shimmered on Lysera's skin. "This structure," Sarath said slowly, "was created by your ancestors. It is of Zarathi origin." Murmurs exploded. Lysera's face froze in shock. Aaron stared at her. "Princess, is that true?" Her voice trembled slightly for the first time. I did not know this existed." Sarath slammed his staff against the floor. "Then either you lie, or your own bloodline played a role in creating the danger threatening us." The chamber grew cold. Lysera looked stunned, then furious. "My family would never endanger the galaxy." Sarath's glare cut deeper. "Yet the evidence is here. Your ancestors meddled with forces beyond our understanding. Their experiments may be the reason the rift exists." Aaron stepped forward instinctively. "Counselors," he said, "Princess Lysera is the one trying to fix this. Blaming her for ancient actions won't help." "Silence, human!" Sarath snapped. Aaron stiffened, but Lysera raised a hand, stopping him. Her voice was quiet, but razor-sharp. "Sarath, if you believe my bloodline caused this, then allow me to prove myself by ending it." Voran leaned back, watching her with unreadable eyes. "And how do you intend to begin?" Lysera turned, meeting Aaron's gaze. In her eyes, he saw fear finally breaking through her calm, but also determination, hard and bright like starlight. "By going into the rift," she said, "and finding the truth." The chamber erupted into chaos. But Aaron only heard one thing. They were going into the most dangerous place in the sector, and he wasn't letting her go alone. The enormous doors of the council chamber slammed open as voices rose in panic and outrage. The words, "danger," "impossible," "reckless," echoed from every direction. But Princess Lysera didn't flinch. She stood tall in the center of the chaos, her silver eyes glowing with fierce determination. Aaron Hale moved to her side automatically, ready to defend her if any counselor tried to stop her. High Chancellor Voren struck his staff against the floor. The chamber fell silent. "Princess Lysera," he said slowly, "you understand what you are proposing. No one has entered the rift and returned alive." Lysera nodded. "I understand. But we can no longer wait." Sarath stepped forward, anger sharp in his voice. "This is madness. The rift destroys everything. That structure, that station your ancestors built, it is unstable and lethal." Lysera met his glare without fear. "Which is why we must go. If my ancestors created something inside the rift, then perhaps they also left knowledge, data, technology, anything to help stop the crisis." Aaron stepped forward. "I'll go with her." The chamber reacted instantly. "Humans cannot survive the rift. He lacks training. It is irresponsible." Aaron lifted his chin. "Humanity has survived worse than expected. Princess Lysera chose me. I'm not abandoning her now." To Aaron's surprise, Voren studied him with a quiet, thoughtful expression. "Your simulation showed promise, and your loyalty is clear." He turned to Lysera. "If you insist on this mission, you will go under one condition. You take a vessel equipped with our strongest shielding." Sarath's eyes widened. "Chancellor, you can't—" Voren raised a hand. The protest died instantly. "The princess has made her choice." He looked down at Lysera with a strange softness. "May the stars protect you." The Starbreaker. Hours later, Lysera and Aaron stood at the docking platform. Before them rested the Starbreaker, a sleek Zarathi vessel designed for extreme hazards. Its hull shone with layered shields, shifting colors like an oil slick. Aaron whistled under his breath. "It looks fast and angry." Lysera smiled faintly. "It is the only ship that might survive the rift long enough to reach the station." As they boarded, Aaron noticed the interior was smaller than he expected. 2 seats, a narrow walkway, and a central console filled with floating symbols he didn't recognize. Lysera moved with quiet confidence, fingers dancing across the holographic screens. "I've programmed the flight path. We will enter the rift from its weakest point." Aaron buckled in. "Define weakest." Lysera's calm expression didn't change. "Only 70% chance of immediate destruction." Aaron froze. "Great. Wonderful. Perfect." Lysera blinked, confused. "Is that sarcasm?" "A little," Aaron sighed. "But let's do this anyway." The engines roared to life, glowing with blue-white fire. The ship lifted smoothly from the platform and shot into space. The rift loomed ahead, an enormous swirling cloud of darkness like a storm eating the stars. It pulsed and twisted, alive and violent. Aaron felt his heartbeat climb. Lysera reached over and placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. "Do not fear. I am here." Her touch steadied him more than she knew. The Starbreaker accelerated. The rift swallowed them whole. The darkness. Inside the rift, light disappeared instantly. Not dimmed, vanished. The world turned into endless black, broken only by flashes of blue lightning that cracked through the void like angry claws. The ship shook violently. Aaron gripped the seat. "Is this normal?" "No," Lysera said calmly. "This is worse." A massive tendril of dark energy whipped across their path. Lysera steered sharply. The ship jerked, narrowly avoiding collision. Aaron tried to keep his voice steady. "So we're flying through, what? A storm made of gravity?" Lysera nodded. "Gravity, energy, and something far older. Something we have never dared to name." Another tendril lashed out. The shields flickered. Alarms blared. "Shields at 60%, Lysera reported. Aaron swallowed hard. "Princess, does this thing recharge?" "No." "Of course not." They pressed deeper into the rift. Shapes moved in the darkness, shadows that didn't belong to any creature Aaron knew. The air inside the ship grew heavy, colder, as if something outside was watching them. Lysera leaned closer to the console. "We're close. The station should be—" A burst of blue lightning illuminated the rift. Aaron's breath caught. There! Floating in the void was an enormous structure, ancient, metallic, and cracked with glowing energy. It looked like a cross between a temple and a machine, its walls covered in markings similar to the silver lines on Lysera's skin. Lysera whispered, "The Sanctum of Echoes." She sounded both amazed and frightened. The station. The Starbreaker docked with a broken platform. The airlock opened with a metallic groan. Inside, the station felt abandoned, silent, cold, and filled with floating dust-like particles that glowed faintly. Lysera's markings brightened. Aaron watched her carefully. "You okay?" She nodded. "Yes, I can feel something. Like the station is calling to me." Together they walked down the cracked corridor. Strange symbols lit under Lysera's feet, responding to her presence. Aaron felt uneasy. "Are you sure this place won't collapse on us?" "Uncertain," Lysera said, "but we must continue." They reached a central chamber. At its center stood a crystal pillar filled with swirling memories, images, voices, and echoes of the past. Lysera stepped toward it. The pillar glowed brighter. Aaron opened his mouth to warn her, but it was too late. The pillar activated. A projection burst outward, surrounding them. Holographic figures, ancient Zarathi, appeared, speaking in their melodic language. The images shifted, showing the rift forming, the storm expanding, and the station being built. Lysera translated softly. "They tried to harness the rift, to turn its energy into a weapon." Aaron felt cold. "And it backfired." Lysera nodded. "Yes, they thought they could control the void. Instead, they created a wound in space that never healed." The projection shifted again, showing a small group of ancient Zarathi escaping, sealing the station, leaving a message. Lysera stepped closer as their final words echoed through her mind. She whispered the translation. "Only one of our bloodline can awaken the sanctum and close the rift forever." Then the projection vanished. Silence fell. Aaron looked at her. "You're the one they meant." Lysera turned toward him. Her expression was calm but heavy with responsibility. "Yes, it is my burden now. The station's core." They moved deeper into the sanctum, into a glowing chamber with a massive core pulsing like a heart. Blue energy danced around it. Lysera approached the console. "If I connect with the core, it will transfer the knowledge I need to repair the rift. But it will also—" She hesitated. Aaron stepped closer. "Princess, tell me." "It will hurt." Aaron placed a hand over hers. "I'm here. I won't let anything happen to you." Her silver eyes softened. "Then let us begin." She touched the console. Light exploded around her. Her body trembled, markings blazing bright. Energy surged through her arm, racing into her mind. She gasped, knees buckling. Aaron caught her before she fell. "Lysera, stay with me." She clenched her jaw. "I must finish. I must—" The energy peaked. The chamber trembled violently. Then, silence. The light faded. Lysera collapsed against Aaron, breathing hard, but her eyes were steady again. "I have it," she whispered. "The method to seal the rift." Aaron exhaled in relief, but then the station shook again. Is that supposed to happen?" Lysera's eyes widened. "No, we must leave, now." The final escape. The station began collapsing as they sprinted back through the corridors. Gravity twisted, floors tilted, and cracks exploded with blue light. Aaron grabbed Lysera's wrist. "Run!" The Starbreaker came into sight just as the corridor behind them crumbled. They jumped inside. Lysera sealed the hatch. "Go!" she shouted. Aaron didn't need convincing. He slammed the controls. The ship blasted away from the station just as it exploded, its fragments scattered into the void. The rift roared like a living storm. Lysera activated the sealing protocol. A wave of blue light shot from the starbreaker into the rift's core. The storm screamed, then began to shrink, smaller, smaller, and finally, gone. Only stars remained. Aaron stared in stunned silence. "You did it." Lysera smiled softly. "We did it." Return to Zarathi Prime. When they landed on Zarathi Prime, the council waited. Sarath looked shocked. Vorin looked proud. Lysera stepped forward. "The rift is sealed. The sector is safe." A cheer rose through the hall, strong and sincere. Vorin bowed his head. "Princess Lysera, you have proven yourself." Sarath remained silent, defeated. Lysera turned to Aaron. "And Lieutenant Hale, humanity now has a friend in the Zarathi people." Aaron grinned. "Well, let's hope I didn't embarrass us too much." Lysera shook her head gently. "You saved us." She extended her hand. "Shall we face the future together?" Aaron took her hand. "Absolutely." And as the chamber filled with light and applause, Aaron realized something. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through power or weapons or fear, but through courage, loyalty, and the willingness to stand by an unlikely ally. HFY, humanity, F, yeah.